Healing is one of the most misunderstood processes in human life. Many people believe that healing means everything feels lighter, easier, and happier. They imagine that once they begin to heal, pain will disappear, memories will stop haunting them, and their struggles will simply fade away. But true healing rarely feels that way in the beginning. In fact, healing often feels like the opposite of what you expect. It is uncomfortable, it is uncertain, and it forces you to confront parts of yourself that you may have ignored for years. The important truth is this: just because it doesn't feel like healing does not mean that it isn't happening. Progress often hides inside discomfort, and growth often wears the mask of struggle. The first sign that you are healing is when you begin to notice what no longer fits. At one time in your life, you may have tolerated environments, habits, or relationships that drained you without even realizing the damage. But as you heal, those same things begin to feel heavier. The conversations that once felt normal suddenly feel empty. The patterns you repeated without question now feel suffocating. This awareness can feel uncomfortable, even painful, because it shines a light on what you have ignored. You may feel restless, dissatisfied, or even frustrated with yourself. But understand this awareness is the foundation of change. To see what is unhealthy is already proof that your inner self is waking up, that your clarity is sharpening. You are not falling apart. You are simply outgrowing what no longer belongs. Another sign of healing is when emotions you buried begin to rise to the surface. Many people mistake this stage as a setback. They believe that because they feel sadness, anger, or grief, they must be moving backward. But the truth is, those emotions have always been inside you, unprocessed and waiting. Healing is not about pushing them deeper. It is about allowing them to rise, to be felt, and to finally pass through. When you suddenly feel waves of emotion without clear reason, that is not a collapse, it is a release. You are cleansing what has been held in your body and mind for too long. It feels messy, it feels raw, but this is how the inner wounds begin to close. Like cleaning a wound before it can heal properly, you must allow the uncomfortable process of clearing what is trapped within you. The third sign of healing is when your patience with yourself starts to grow, even if just a little. In the past, you may have demanded perfection. You may have criticized yourself harshly for mistakes or for not being strong enough. But as you move through healing, you begin to notice small moments of gentleness. Perhaps you allow yourself to rest without guilt. Perhaps you forgive yourself for not being able to do everything at once. Perhaps you catch the harsh inner voice and replace it with something softer, something kinder. These moments may feel insignificant, but they are powerful evidence that you are transforming. To heal is to build a new relationship with yourself, one that is not rooted in judgment, but in understanding. The ability to offer yourself patience is a clear sign that the process is working, even if you do not yet see the full results. The fourth sign of healing is when you start to detach from the need for external validation. In the past, you may have needed others to confirm your worth, to give you approval, to reassure you that you are enough. But as you heal, you begin to notice that your sense of value grows from within. You start making choices not because they will be praised, but because they align with your truth. You no longer chase every opinion or bend yourself just to be accepted. This shift may feel isolating at times because not everyone will understand the new boundaries you create. But it is a sign of strength, a sign that you are no longer willing to abandon yourself just to keep peace with others. True healing is not about gaining everyone's approval. It is about gaining your own. Healing is not a straight path. It is not a quick transformation from darkness to light. It is more like the changing of seasons. Some days feel like spring, filled with growth and freshness. Other days feel like winter, cold and heavy. But beneath every season, the process continues. Growth is happening even when you cannot see it. Healing often looks like silence, like struggle, like discomfort, but inside, something powerful is taking shape. Each time you notice what no longer fits, each time you release buried emotions, each time you show yourself patience, each time you stop depending on approval, you are moving closer to wholeness. So if you are in a place where it feels heavy, where the pain feels louder than the progress, remember this truth: healing rarely feels like healing while you are inside it. It feels confusing, it feels exhausting, it tests your strength. But these are not signs of failure, they are signs of progress. You are not broken because you feel pain. You are repairing because you allow yourself to feel it. You are not lost because you question your path. You are aligning because you refuse to stay asleep. Healing is not glamorous, it is not comfortable, but it is always worth it. And in time, when you look back, you will see that every step of discomfort, every wave of emotion, every moment of self-compassion was carrying you closer to the person you were always meant to become. Do not give up simply because it doesn't feel like healing. Trust the process, even when you cannot see the destination. The path you are on is shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for a life where you no longer carry the weight of old wounds. One day you will wake up and realize that the heaviness is gone, that the noise has quieted, that peace feels natural, and on that day you will know every difficult moment was worth it. You were healing all along. Healing often feels like struggle, but every moment of discomfort is proof that you are releasing what no longer belongs. The journey of healing is not gentle or simple the way people imagine it to be. It is not always the calm after the storm. Sometimes it is the storm itself. It is the shaking of old foundations, the crumbling of illusions, and the surfacing of emotions that you once locked away so deeply that you thought they were gone forever. When those emotions return, when those heavy days feel endless, it can feel like failure, but it is not failure. It is the body and mind releasing the weight you carried in silence. Each moment that feels like chaos is not destroying you, it is clearing space. Space for growth, space for peace, space for the version of yourself that does not have to keep carrying what has been hurting you. When you sit with the discomfort instead of running from it, you are allowing healing to unfold in its truest form. It takes strength to sit with emotions that burn. It takes courage to face memories that sting. And it takes patience to not demand instant relief. Every tear that falls, every wave of frustration, every restless night is not proof that you are broken, but proof that you are alive, that your system is working to cleanse itself. Imagine a wound being cleaned. The sting of antiseptic is sharp, but it is necessary. The body flinches at the pain, but the process is what keeps infection away. Healing of the heart and mind works the same way. The sting you feel is not punishment. It is the medicine working. As you move through this, you will notice moments when you see things differently. Conversations that once passed unnoticed suddenly show you what drains you. Habits you used to repeat without thought now feel heavy, almost unbearable. People you once surrounded yourself with begin to feel like noise instead of comfort. This awareness is not comfortable, but it is a breakthrough. It means you are no longer numb. It means you are no longer willing to sleepwalk through life, accepting everything as it comes without question. Discomfort in awareness is a sign that your standards are changing. It is the silent signal that you are outgrowing what no longer serves you. And though it feels unsettling, it is proof of growth happening in real time. In those moments when buried emotions rise to the surface, it can feel like you are going backwards. You may question why sadness, anger, or grief is returning when you believed you had already moved on. But you must remember, moving on and healing are not the same. Moving on can mean ignoring or suppressing, while healing requires you to feel and release. The resurfacing of emotions does not mean weakness. It means the layers are peeling away, allowing wounds to close in ways they never could before. This process is not glamorous. It is raw, messy, unpredictable. But it is through this release that freedom comes. You cannot carry everything forever. At some point, the body and mind demand release, and though the experience feels uncomfortable, every surge of emotion is you letting go, piece by piece. There will also come a time when you start to notice a softer voice within. Perhaps for years you spoke to yourself harshly, criticized your every move, judged yourself with standards far higher than what you required from anyone else. But in the quiet moments of healing, you might notice a pause before the criticism. You might notice a small whisper of kindness replacing the old sharpness. You may allow yourself rest without guilt, or forgive yourself for not being perfect. These small moments may seem invisible to others, but to you they are a revolution. That gentleness is not weakness. It is strength in a new form. It is the evidence that you are building a healthier relationship with yourself, one that is rooted in patience, compassion, and understanding. And as this patience grows, something else begins to change. The need for validation starts to fade. At first, you may not even notice it, but slowly you stop chasing approval from those around you. You begin to make choices because they align with your truth, not because they will be praised or understood. You no longer adjust your identity to fit the comfort of others. You no longer give your energy away just to keep peace that is not real. This detachment from validation can feel lonely at times because not everyone will welcome your boundaries. But loneliness is not emptiness. It is strength forming. It is the sign that you are no longer abandoning yourself for the sake of belonging. That shift, though uncomfortable, is one of the clearest signals of real healing. When you look at all these signs together, the discomfort, the emotional release, the growing patience, the fading need for external approval, you see that healing rarely looks like calm at first. It looks like chaos, like endings, like unraveling, but behind all of it is growth. Behind all of it is transformation. The discomfort you feel is proof that something is moving, that something is shifting, that you are shedding layers that no longer belong to you. Do not confuse the storm with destruction. Sometimes the storm is only clearing the air so you can finally breathe again. So the next time healing feels heavy, the next time you wonder if you are failing because it doesn't feel peaceful, remind yourself of this truth. Discomfort is the evidence. Pain is the proof you are not stuck. You are moving forward in ways you may not yet see. One day you will look back and realize the nights you thought you were falling apart were the nights you were releasing what was breaking you. You will see that the tears, the questions, the loneliness were not setbacks. They were steps. Every moment of discomfort was you letting go of what no longer belonged. That is not weakness. That is not failure. That is the essence of healing. You are not failing because it feels heavy. You are growing stronger because you are learning to carry it differently. Too often, when life feels overwhelming, when the weight of emotions, responsibilities, and challenges presses down on your shoulders, the immediate thought is that you are falling behind, that you are not capable, that you are somehow losing the battle. But heaviness is not a sign of weakness. Heaviness is a sign that you are carrying more than before, that you are meeting experiences that demand a different version of you, that you are being shaped into someone who can withstand more than you ever thought possible. Strength is not built in the absence of weight. Strength is built precisely because of it. If it feels heavy, it is because you are in the process of becoming strong enough to carry it. Think about how muscles grow. A muscle does not grow when it is left idle. A muscle grows when resistance is applied, when pressure is placed upon it, when it is challenged to do more than it has ever done before. At first, the weight feels unbearable. Your body shakes, it resists, it wants to stop. But with each repetition, something changes. The weight does not necessarily become lighter, but your body adapts to hold it more effectively. What once felt impossible becomes manageable, not because the load disappeared, but because you became stronger in how you held it. Life works in exactly the same way. The emotional weight you are carrying may feel crushing right now, but every day you endure, every moment you choose not to collapse, you are training the inner muscles of patience, resilience, and clarity. The challenge is not to wish the weight away, but to realize that carrying it differently is already proof of your growth. There are times when you will think, "This is too much, I cannot handle this anymore." But notice what happens. You still endure. You still wake up the next morning, you still find a way to keep moving. This persistence is not failure, it is strength hidden in plain sight. The human spirit is designed to adapt. What seems unbearable in one season often becomes a story of resilience in the next. The heaviness you feel today may be the very thing that prepares you for a tomorrow where you can stand tall, where you can help others lift their burdens, where you can face challenges with a steadiness you never had before. Carrying weight differently does not always mean pushing harder. Sometimes it means shifting your perspective, adjusting your posture, or redistributing the load. In life, this may look like asking for support, setting new boundaries, or learning that rest is not weakness but strategy. It may look like letting go of what is unnecessary so that you can focus your strength where it truly matters. When you learn these shifts, you realize that strength is not about pretending nothing affects you. Real strength is about being affected, yet still choosing to move forward. It is about acknowledging the heaviness and then deciding how you will carry it without letting it break you. It is easy to confuse difficulty with failure. But difficulty is the training ground of growth. If life were always light, if everything came without challenge, you would never develop resilience. You would never discover the depth of your courage. You would never know what you are capable of. The moments that feel the hardest are often the ones that transform you the most. Every time you choose to continue despite the heaviness, you are carving out a stronger version of yourself. You may not see it today, you may not even feel it tomorrow, but one day you will realize that the weight you carry now has become the foundation of your strength. When the mind tells you that you are failing, pause and look closer. Are you still standing? Are you still breathing? Are you still showing up despite the heaviness? Then you are not failing. You are growing. Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet persistence. Sometimes it is holding yourself together in the middle of chaos. Sometimes it is simply taking the next small step when every part of you wants to stop. That is growth in its purest form. Think about how trees grow in strong winds. The constant resistance forces their roots to go deeper, their trunks to grow sturdier, their branches to bend without breaking. Without the pressure of the wind, the tree would remain fragile. Without the resistance you face, you too would remain fragile. The heaviness is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It is shaping you, grounding you, preparing you for the storms that may come later. What feels unbearable today will one day become the reason you can withstand tomorrow with calmness and clarity. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself, this weight is not here to prove your weakness, it is here to build your strength. You are not collapsing, you are adapting, you are not failing, you are evolving. Every breath you take under the pressure, Every step forward despite the heaviness is proof that you are not the same person you were yesterday. You are carrying it differently. You are holding it with more patience, more perspective, more resilience. That is not failure, that is transformation.